Can you please tell your name and institution?
I'm Luísa Durães from University of Coimbra, Chemical Engineer Department.
Could you please tell a little about your objectives within H2OforAll?
Well, I started by this challenge of, with Rui, of getting a consortium that could tackle the call of removal and prevention of formation of disinfection byproducts. And for me, in particular, it's because I work with adsorbents and I test those adsorbents that are very high-tech, like I work with aerosols. And I could already prove that they are very effective in many pollutants, but never worked with DBPs. So for me, it was a big challenge to put them working with DBPs, seeing their performance, and it was a real good surprise that they behave as for many other pollutants, very, very good.
What do you think makes the project innovative?
Well, I think this project is one of the projects of this call that is more, let's say, broadband in terms of DBPs. It's focused on surface water, not groundwater, in fact, but surface water is also the one that has the most challenges in terms of pollution. So, you know, most part of the water that we drink are from surface waters, and climate change is changing a lot the quality of those waters. And in fact, after seeing the problem more in deep, it makes even more sense to get together the monitoring of all the distributions, also the toxicity of these kind of pollutants or emergent pollutants that are DBPs, because most of them are not even in the literature with data that can help us even to get the toxicity, the protocols, and at the end to look to new disinfection technologies that can avoid their formation, because especially in Portugal and in many countries in Europe, chlorination is one of the main technologies for disinfection, and it's the cause for the formation of DBPs. Okay, so to look to new technologies, and at the end, if we really have a poor water in terms of quality, that we cannot avoid the treatment, to look to new strategies of treat this water. One main key also of the project, I think it was the only one in the cluster that was looking to public engagement in terms of society, and not only utilities or stakeholders that could have some commercial interest. So looking to children in schools, we have an educational kit. There are many vectors of innovation in our project at the end.
What inspires you most about the project?
Well, I think in the beginning we didn't really know which vectors would develop more, but at the end I think it's a very amazing result that all the vectors that we have imagined, me and Rui, have developed amazingly well. And the thing that, in my opinion, gets me more involved is the connection of partners here. So this is a project that has went very well. No dramas, no problems. Everyone was very committed with the objectives of the project, helping as much as possible. And I think when you have a group like that, you want to continue with them, yeah? But now we should find ways, yeah.
What do you consider the most impactful outcome of the project? If technologies, could you please name them?
Yeah, regarding technologies, European Union has some need of technologies that can tell you more about the quality of your water. And in this case, I think technologies developed by the project specifically for DBPs, are very innovative and I must say quite simple to implement and have the parameters that are needed for regulation or for more information for regulation. In terms of public knowledge, I think the central knowledge base is one of the key pillars of the knowledge transfer that could make easier the transfer of information between regulators, water utilities, and then choose parameters to make also the public aware of the quality of water they are consuming and ways, probably linking to ways where they can take action to avoid pollution of water and really give the value of water, because water is not very valued nowadays. People take water as granted, and it's not granted. It's scarce, the quality of water is dropping, and people should see it as a very high value thing. As we pay more for electricity than water in Portugal, and this is a thing people think the value of things are connected with price. No, it's not true. So value, water has more value than electricity in terms of life. If you think of life, of course, maybe if your electricity is shut down, you notice immediately because you want to go to social media, to internet, you need it for your work. But without water, we don't live. So it's that value that water has that people do not recognize or notice very well.
What messages do you think the project communicates?
I think we thought since the beginning to communicate this message of maybe we can have a much higher problem in the future of DBPs if we consider that the temperature of the planet is rising, the amount of potable water is dropping, and we have many concerns about increase of organic matter, especially in regions where water is scarce. And I think since beginning, it was since the kickoff meeting, we are committed to this message, like saying water is safe to drink, but to keep it safe, we need to see some parameters in water, and we need to be attentive of how these other factors that are external and we cannot control so much, like climate change, can change in fact the way we see water treatments and the water safety. So we are not trying to say that water is not safe, because it is, considering our utilities that are doing very well their jobs, but maybe they can struggle in the future to keep it safe. So we are trying to help. This consortium is trying to help as a whole, and with also the participation in water in Zero Pollution for Water cluster. We are trying to collaborate with other projects to take the most of what is being developed under this topic.
Do you think we should run more projects like this in the future?
Definitely, yeah. These projects, we even proposed to the officer of the European Commission a way, because there are other types of projects, for instance, the networks of collaboration of coast association, that if your project is successful, they invite you, hypothetically, they invite you at the end, if they have the funding, to a year that they consider that it's necessary for the technologies take a next step to approach the market. And I explained that to the officer, that in cost association there is this mechanism, this tool. And he was searching, in fact, in the calls of the COM, but there's no such tool with European projects. And in my view, these projects that really show that they they achieved all the results, they, let's say, even excel those results in terms of impact, and that you see that the outcomes can be very, very important for the European Union, I think that there should be, could be a tool of, okay, we give you more 1 year with this extra funding for you to get to a TRL of technologies like a certain level. And we could apply to this instrument in a very easy way with the consortium to get this. Of course, if there is no such instrument in the COM, we can look to new calls that will open in 2026, 2027, because what is important is that the developments do not die after the ending of the project. Like, the follow-up is very important, being funded or not. So we should not just say, well, the project has ended, so I close my door and I don't work more on this. In our case of University of Coimbra, we have already PhD students on that area, so we have this guarantee that this work on DBPs will follow with the aerogels in this case, the technology that we were developing. But I guess also in the other partners that is a follow-up inside each partner. But I think what would be more important is that the partners get together to these follow-ups in collaboration, not just individually. Let's say I develop aerogels here with the PhD student. For instance, University of Ulm will develop further the sensor with their staff, but I don't think it is the vision. The vision is that we cannot follow individually. We should follow together. So I think it's that. And of course, new funding would be very appreciated. Yeah.
Thank you.
It was